In the quiet hush of the night, when shadows begin to twist and play in the soft moonlight, there lies a chilling tale that's sure to turn your dreams to nightmares. This tale, deeply rooted in the realm of the uncanny, unfolds in a grand mansion. This mansion, a regal structure of stone and glass, is tucked away from the world's prying eyes, hidden behind a veil of aged trees and overgrown foliage. The protagonist of our story is a young babysitter, a girl barely of her teens, finding herself entrusted with the care of two innocent children. These children, a boy and a girl, are the offspring of an exceptionally wealthy family, their lineage steeped in old money and power. These wealthy parents, elegantly dressed in the finest silks and jewels, are off to a lavish event, a glittering spectacle of opulence and grandeur. As the couple's Rolls-Royce slowly fades into the distance, our babysitter finds herself alone in the sprawling estate. The mansion, with its long, shadow-filled hallways and echoing rooms, is now under her watchful gaze. She is the guardian of the house, the protector of the children sleeping soundly in their laced canopy beds. This responsibility, although daunting, is one she intends to bear with grace and courage. As the evening darkens, however, a of unease begins to creep into her heart. The mansion, once grand and inviting, now seems sinister under the cloak of darkness. Each creak and groan of the old structure sends chills down her spine, amplifying her growing fear. What heightens her terror is a peculiar clown statue in the parents' bedroom, a grotesque figure positioned in the corner of the room. The statue, with its exaggerated features and garish colors, has eyes that seem to follow her every move. Its wide, painted grin is a stark contrast to the icy fear gripping her heart. This statue, a silent sentinel, is an unsettling presence that shrouds the room in a cold, heavy dread. It's under watchful gaze of this eerie figure that she spends the night, every tick of the clock amplifying her unease and terror. The clown statue, a constant reminder of the mansion's hidden horrors, is the focus of her growing terror. It's a silent sentinel, an unsettling presence that shrouds the room in a cold, heavy dread. Our babysitter, unnerved yet determined, reaches out to the parents. She pulls out her cell phone with trembling fingers, her heart pounding in her chest. Her mind races with possibilities. She has been in charge of the children for a couple of hours now, and all was well until she noticed the strange happenings. The flickering lights, the sudden chill in the air, the eerie silence that hung heavily around It was then that she decided to contact the parents. The dial tone seemed to echo her own anxiety, resonating with the uncertainty that filled the room. She swallowed hard, her dry throat clicking as she braced herself for the response, and thoughts of what could be possibly wrong fueled her growing fear. Finally, the call connected. On the other end of the line, she hears the familiar voice of the father. The comforting tone that usually welcomed her was replaced by an undertone of dread. It took only a moment for his words, each one filled with urgency, to penetrate her thoughts. He issued a warning that sends chills down her spine, a command that is as straightforward as it is terrifying, her breath in her throat as she processed his words. The father's voice, filled with fear, instructs her to take the children and escape. This wasn't an advice, it was an imperative, a command that was given with the utmost urgency. The weight of the situation settled heavily on her shoulders. She felt a chill run down her spine, a chill that was not from the cold, but from sheer terror. The implications of his words hung in the silence that followed, amplifying her fear. The safety of the children was in her hands. She had to act fast. There was no room for hesitation immediately. And so she does. The mother, brave and determined, gathers her children, their wide eyes reflecting the fear in her own. With a courage born from love and desperation, she leads them away from the mansion that had offered promises of a safe haven, but was now tainted with an unspeakable dread. The massive edifice looms ominously behind her, a menacing silhouette against the twilight sky. Her heart pounds like a war drum in her chest, each beat a terrifying testament to the dire situation they found themselves in. Stiff with fear, she feels the chilled air biting at her skin, as she steps into the night, clutching her children close. Her breath thin veils of smoke in the air, a testament to the icy chill that has gripped the world outside. But the cold is nothing compared to the dread that seizes her heart, the chilling realization of the danger that lurks within the walls of the mansion. The police arrive, their sirens piercing the silence of the night like shells exploding in a war zone. Blue and red lights flashing, painting the otherwise serene night with a grotesque spectacle of impending doom. The sounds reverberate in her ears, a cacophony that drowns out her frantic thoughts. And then comes the revelation. The horrifying truth that sends shivers down her spine, a terror that eclipses her darkest fears. As they rush past her, their faces grim and determined, she catches sight of what she had mistaken for a harmless decoration. There was no clown statue. Instead, a man. A man whose soul was as twisted as his disturbing disguise. A malevolent figure, his menacing grin hidden behind the painted face of a clown. His clothes, a perverse parody of the cheerful of children's parties, now a symbol of pure terror. Armed with a chilling weapon, a tool of destruction that glinted ominously under the flashing police lights, was a chilling reminder of the danger she had unknowingly invited into her home. A silent predator, a monstrous creature who took pleasure in the fear he inspired. Lurking in the shadows of the mansion, he stalked its hallways with an intent as malignant as a deadly predator. His eyes, hidden beneath layers of grotesque makeup, held a darkness that mirrored the sinister depths of the night outside. A terrifying embodiment of the evil that humans were capable of, he was a specter that haunted the once safe haven of the mansion. The realization hit her like a ton of bricks, the truth leaving her reeling. Her heart pounded even harder, each beat echoing the unspeakable terror that had taken residence in their lives. The night itself seemed to shudder under the weight of this revelation, a chilling testament to the evil that lurked within the mansion. Each creaking sound, each rustling leaf, each flickering shadow was a cruel reminder of the fear that had ensnared them. As the depth of her fear took root, she held her children even tighter, their innocent eyes mirroring her own terror. Their soft whimpers broke her heart, but also steeled her resolve. For their sake, she would confront the darkness that had invaded their sanctuary. A silent predator, lurking in the shadows of the mansion, stalking its halls with an intent as dark as the night itself. In this twisted tale, our babysitter narrowly escapes a night of unimaginable horror. The story begins like any other, with an innocent phone call, a family in need of a babysitter for the evening. She, a young woman with a heart full of cheer, agrees to take the job, unaware of the night that awaits her. As the sun sets, her journey into the unknown begins. This is no ordinary babysitting job, as she soon discovers when the night takes a turn for the sinister. After putting the children to bed, she sinks into the living room couch, hoping for an uneventful night. However, things quickly take a chilling turn as strange, unexplainable events begin to unfold. Unsettling noises echo through the once silent house, bringing with them an eerie sense of dread. She decides to investigate, only to be met with sights that could chill the blood of the stoutest soul. Each room she enters, each shadow she encounters, seem to whisper untold terrors, giving her a sense of unease that she can't shake off. Frightened but determined, she musters the strength to confront the source of these mysteries. She stumbles upon hidden symbols, cryptic messages, and signs of rituals too horrifying to comprehend. Each discovery reveals more about the dark forces that have infiltrated this seemingly ordinary home. She realizes there's an unnatural presence in the house, a force that threatens to consume her, a force that isn't human. As the dawn approaches, she fights off these malignant entities, protecting the children and herself. The night of terror leaves her forever changed, a survivor who has stared into the abyss and emerged victorious. A night where the thin veil between the ordinary and the terrifying is torn away, revealing the dark shadows that lurk in the corners of our world. This is DreadVerse, your portal to the darkest tales. Subscribe and join us as we unravel more stories that will make your pulse race and your skin crawl. For in the world of DreadVerse, nothing is ever as it seems, and your worst nightmares are just a story away.